Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the Wednesday night Scream Stream Minisode. I'm your host, Spakenstein, joined as always by my very good friend, Mr. Evan Sink.
Good evening, everybody.
How we doing tonight, Evan?
I'm good. I'm getting this weird feeling of deja vu right now.
Yeah, it seems like we were just streaming, just like even like a few minutes ago, doesn't it? It's curious.
We signed off and everything. I thought we were done for the night.
Yeah, it was really strange. No, you don't get off that easy. We've got a whole episode to do here, man. We're just getting started.
So buckle up.
Buckle up and strap in. Get your feet in the stirrups and hold on to your reins, because we are back in the saddle again for the minisodes and for our serial for season 10. The Summer of Schlock returns. We've picked a pretty schlocky serial for a schlocky season, so that's how we do it over here. That's just what the doctor ordered. And so we get our prescriptions filled here over on the Scream Stream without fail. So we appreciate everybody that's here joining us tonight that made the leap over from YouTube, hopefully. Again, we've ran into some content ID issues trying to stream the first chapter of The Phantom Empire, which is our serial for this season. So we decided let's just cut out all the interruptions and we'll just hang out on Twitch. We multi-stream anyway, so let's have some fun on Twitch.
So are we a controversial stream now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that's our sign that we've officially made it.
We're right though. This we are correct. To be able to show this.
Yes, this is definitely public domain. You can go find every episode. I mean, again, the Internet Archive's credibility has been called into question, but every episode is there, and a lot of things on there are public domain. But this is from a company that did not exist by the time that it needed to be renewed. So guess what? It didn't get renewed.
And guess where it lands?
Public domain. For our benefit, I must say.
Do not pass go straight to the public domain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, you found that out when you played Wheel of Movies last time. You know, it's a hard journey to once you find yourself in the public domain to get out of the public domain. But, you got to navigate those waters. They're treacherous, but you can make it work.
Right, yeah.
So
you got to swim the channels.
Right. Yeah, click. But, even though remotes, they don't really click anymore, do they? So you can't really call them clickers, I guess. You ever think about that? Doing my type 5 on remotes. You've never heard it called a clicker before?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say surely you have. Surely you've heard of a clicker.
I've been out of we've been out of school for a little bit now, but even back when I was in college, they had we had little remotes that were just for class that were called clickers.
Those clickers. Sold. Yeah. Well, there was the eggs too. Do you remember the eggs?
I say clicker now. My brain just goes to that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Remember the egg clickers that we had? That's whenever you talk about those test respond
Right.
thingies, I think of
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Like
eggs.
those. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, remote
There's
clicker.
probably just an app for that nowadays.
Well, everybody's got all the kids got their phones out anyway in school, which bad idea if you ask me, but hey, I don't want any part of it. Not my job, not my responsibility. The future generations, they're gonna have to figure it out for themselves. Technology is rotting our brains. It really is. Um, I'm fully
If you
convinced.
sold an app to like the college crowd, can you sell it for like $200 a pop? Because I remember everything being just absurdly expensive in college.
Yeah, I mean that's just part of the whole experience these days, right? You got to be shelling out. I mean, I
Right, yeah.
guess
It's
that
99 cents on the Apple Store, but it's $99 if you're in college.
see, but yeah, but that's the thing now. Everything's digital. These kids don't know what it's like lugging around backpacks with 50-pound, two or three 50-pound books in them. I mean, come on.
Do kids even have books nowadays?
No, no way they have books. Come on. I mean, do you think the school system wants to pay for physical books if the digital versions are cheaper? Come on. I mean, I remember them going toward digital textbooks and when we were in high school. And it was like,
Right,
what?
but
This
back
is
when they came on a
crazy. Yeah, when they first came on the scene. Sure, it's all the rage now.
TV.
But you know what? We're enough with this school talk because you know what? We're about to go out on the open range. And you know what you don't have out on the open range? School. So enough with the school talk.
Books.
Books. Who needs books when you know
You
how
think
to
Gene Autry's ever read a book? Forget about it.
nah, nah, nah. Not when he's got that very rich, velvety singing voice. And then all the other kids around the ranch, they don't need books. They got lassos and they got their horses. Who needs books? Come on, man. These
They've got a
kids.
whole porch full of singing cowboys. I mean, who needs to read?
Back when kids were kids and cowboys were cowboys. That's what we're getting on Wednesdays. In the
Back when horses were horses.
yeah, back when horses were horses. That's right. Nowadays, you think these horses are going to be able to do the tripwire stunt? No, they don't even allow the tripwire
Horses
stunt
these
anymore.
days have all gone soft.
They've all gone soft. Oh, they definitely have. I mean, no, I mean that is kind of the bad thing about watching these. I mean, even Undersea Kingdom, which isn't technically a Western serial, but any serial or old Western movie that
More of a wet stern.
yeah, when it's using a bunch of horses, there's usually many trick falls on the part of the horses. But when you read into how they do that, and you learn that a lot of the horses did not make it after doing a stunt like that, you're like, how many horses did they have to go through in making a movie like this or a serial? It's bad.
So, what you're saying is horses were to Hollywood as like rats are to science.
Yeah, they were back in those
Just
days
sacrificed in droves.
very disposable. Yeah, it's just, can we get it in the can? Was it going to look good? And I mean, we'll see. I don't know. Again, we're watching The Phantom Empire, which is a very crazy serial in that it really set a lot of precedent. It really covers a lot of firsts for serials and a lot of what would come later. Things that we've already watched on the Scream stream with past seasons of minisodes. So we'll talk about that tonight, but basically the Phantom Empire, obviously we're getting the Western kind of like, I mean, all the tropes that kind of created this craze. Like even at this time, there was a Western craze. And in the 50s it was in 60s it was television. In the 30s you had serials. There were a lot of Western serials. Um, and so, but what this serial does differently is that it is a crossover with the sci-fi genre. And it's about Gene Autry playing Gene Autry, who has a radio ranch, and underneath his ranch is a like an advanced civilization. And
Don't you just hate when that happens?
yeah, you're just, you're out there plowing the fields, and the next thing there's this giant sinkhole opening up, and you're like, what the hell? What are all those people doing, driving cars around and going up in skyscrapers? I didn't know the earth was hollow, which,
What are
let's
these
not
people
even,
doing trespassing on my land?
yeah, I mean, well, let's not even get started on the mineral rights, which, if you joined us for the first installment of the Phantom Empire, you know that mineral rights are going to be at the very core of the entire season. So it's very important that we follow this. And the specific mineral that we're talking about here is radium. Is that
Yeah, radium.
radium? Which powers this underground city, but also is sought after by these skeevy professors or whatever those guys are that are going around. So it's
Yeah, maybe this show is anti-education. The bad guys are all like college professors.
bad guys are college professors. We got the Hollow Earth. Yeah, I think this just might be a serial made for the year 2024. So I think we picked the perfect time to get into this. No, it is interesting though.
Finally
Like,
aged.
yeah, I mean, it really,
Crack open the cask.
it's funny because I'll get into it later tonight, but I started doing reading into kind of how like a perfect storm created the serial that we're going to be watching this season, like in literature and film, and in like the news. I guess this was 1934, 35. So in the like 10 to 20 years before the serial, there's a lot of different science fiction things and movie trends that kind of led to the creation of the serial. So it's like really interesting. And this serial has been, the first chapter was really enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, I went into this thinking like, okay, this is gonna be a hokey show about a singing cowboy, and it is, but it's a lot of fun to watch.
It is. And I mean, again, Gene Autry's got a real nice voice. I
He
mean,
sure does.
and the thing that I read today about, this was really Gene Autry's first starring role. And the kind of common thing I kept coming upon in like articles about this was, yeah, he couldn't really act at this point. So they really made sure to, give him some songs and really not give him too much to do. They kind of,
Okay.
they gave a lot of like other cast members, kind of some heavy lifting so that, all Gene had to do was get up in front of that microphone and, or ride the horse around
Everybody,
really fast.
watch out for that, because I mean, I'm gonna be on the watch for that. When is Gene acting?
Yeah, see, yeah. Let's see if you can spot it. Is he acting here? No. When he's riding a horse, I can tell you he's not acting. He's just riding a horse because he was a rodeo rider. Like Gene Autry, he's a real cowboy. But again, like we talked about last week, this is the first singing cowboy. Like Gene Autry was the singing cowboy, and then there were all these other singing cowboys, so it's kind of hard to call him just the singing cowboy anymore. But this was his first thing.
It's so funny to think of this as like a watershed moment.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what's so cool is it's not just watershed westerns, but also in sci-fi. There's all these different things. So that's the cool thing that we'll be getting into a lot over this season, but we'll talk about a little more later tonight. But anything else before we get into the exciting beginning of the second chapter of the Phantom Empire, which I believe is entitled The Rough Riders?
The Thunder Riders.
The Thunder Riders. I just knew it was something. You get the you know, getting I got Teddy Roosevelt on the brain. I just can't it's been real
Yeah,
obsessed with Teddy
now that would
Roosevelt
be
lately.
cool. What's Teddy Roosevelt doing underneath my farm?
Yeah, well, if anybody would find the underground civilization, it would have been Teddy Roosevelt. You should leave it to him. Um,
you, you know he would have.
he would have. He
Oh man.
definitely would have. Yeah.
So,
Anything? Yeah. Anything before we get into it, Evan?
um, the show's got a lot, but does it have a fight between a shark and an octopus?
Ooh. It's a high bar to
If
climb.
not, maybe we should have watched Flash Gordon.
Well, and you know what? This is to goes to show you, like you said earlier, like we are law abiding citizens here. We follow the law, and the law says that the original Flash Gordon, the first serial, is not public domain, so we can't show it.
Oh no.
Now, if the show is still going in 7 years, then we can show it. But
right. Well, see ya in 2031, everybody.
until then, no. And since you brought it up, I will say, like, the interesting thing about all this is that Flash Gordon was released after the Phantom Empire. Um, some people say that this was an influence on Flash Gordon, but there's kind of some other facts there, which we'll get into later. So, on that note, Evan, if you've got it queued up.
I sure do.
All right, then without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting beginning of the Phantom Empire, Chapter 2, The Thunder Riders, right now. And that link started like in for you, right, Evan?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. Okay. Interesting. I'm not getting any
We
audio.
know him as. Oh no.
That's really strange.
Um.
All right, I'm going to pause it. I'm at 34 seconds. I'm just
Okay.
going to refresh it real quick. Give it a little refresh. Sometimes you just gotta refresh something.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Try just wiggling the wire a little bit.
yeah, I still can't hear
Just
it.
jiggle
That's
it.
really strange. Can anybody
Hmm.
else? That does not. Can I hear that? I can't hear that. All right. I'm gonna close.
Are you going deaf over there?
I think I might be.
Hear any bells or any
Yeah,
like
I've got
high
this
pitched
like
like?
ringing. It's not going away. I'm not sure. Dude, what in the heck? I can't hear it. It's really strange. Okay. I don't know why I wouldn't be able to hear it. I hear you. It's not like there's
Right.
something wrong with my headphones. Like, okay, let's try something crazy. Do something crazy. Do something crazy. Okay.
Let's do something crazy. Let's just look right at the script.
All right, yeah, I got my script here. I'm just seeing if I just play random video. Can I hear that? No, I'm not hearing anything. Okay, that's strange. All right, I got it. I got an idea. Don't worry, guys. I've had enough technical
Okay.
difficulties on this show that I've always got a trick up my sleeve. Okay. So let me just do that. And now I'm gonna do a little bit of this and a little bit this and some
Throw a little bit of that in there.
that. Let's see, did this work? God, son of a. What the hell, dude? What is this? All right. Oh, no way. Is that it? That can't be it. All right, I fixed it. Got it.
You got it?
Got it.
Okay, great.
I would sincerely like to apologize to everybody for that. If
Just
you're
kidding, that was scripted
if you're
too.
new to this show, you know that it's nothing new. But don't worry, I got it up. We're going now. Okay. So Evan, all right, we are at 32 seconds. Yeah, I'm at 30. Well, I'll just start. You know what? I'm at 14 seconds.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into it. Right. Okay. Actually, let's give it a minute. My little hourglass is turning. Little thingy. Just give it a second. All right. Okay. Without further ado, I'm going to get into it right now. My apologies.
Getting that feeling of deja vu again.
I do love the city. The city looks so... It does remind you of Metropolis.
Dude, Breezy Eason?
Yeah, isn't that a hilarious name?
Breezy Eason is a great name.
We've actually seen some work of his credited under another name.
Remind me a lot of Metropolis.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes, he was. Success. Yes, Spark. Success. We did it. We got there. And welcome, Spark. I hope you're doing well this evening. Morania. Perfect parody name.
Featuring?
Yeah,
it's a real place?
It's its own character, dude.
It's our guest star, this whole city.
Dude, does this music sound familiar to you?
These cards look familiar to me.
Because it's all the same. It's all like Whispering Shadow. I think they use this music too.
Professor Bateson.
And the actors playing the children are actual... I mean, the actress playing the girl, she's 14 years old. Queen Tika.
They want to join the club too.
I forgot about the locomotive sound that comes from the Thunder Riders.
Yeah. What are their horseshoes made of?
Steel.
Yeah, this is that iron horse they talk about.
God, this is so crafty.
Are they gonna trip these horses?
That's what I thought they were gonna do.
Gonna do a little rappel down.
Maybe they're gonna... Do they fall? Is that what happened? Literal cliffhanger.
Yep. Yeah, it's a little on the nose, right?
Yeah. It is yeah.
And
Oh, they slid down a little bit.
It's Frankie and Betsy with James.
To the rescue! Yeah. We got these buckets on our heads. Riding around on horses. We're just kids.
Look, our Thunder Riders Club. Come on, we'll sign hurry up, bro.
great throw.
Yeah, seriously, that's how many yards was that? Kid should be playing for the NFL. Jesus. No kid nowadays could, swing across the line like that.
Yeah, they don't make kids like they used to.
That's what I'm saying, man. They really don't. Kids were tough. I mean, again, this is an actual 14-year-old girl who was she was a like champion, like trick rodeo rider. And, I think I read that she was kind of forced into acting. She didn't really want to do it.
They have left their horses. They're hiding somewhere behind us. Yes, Your Majesty.
Wait, don't follow. They are on their way to Radio Ranch. Will you expose your command to the world? Report back to Murania immediately.
Yes, Your Majesty.
So on his wrist, you'll actually see that's the Apple Watch 1.0. And that was what the first series looked like, actually.
Did you know that Steve Jobs actually came from Murania?
That would explain a lot. God, the way that they like can just get on a horse like that, like, whew, crazy,
Just
dude.
one motion.
Yeah. Although that actor was an acrobat, like, kind of a stunt acrobat. Stuntman.
Time to be on the air. What do we do?
Don't forget, Gene's contractually obligated to do his radio show every day at 2 p.m.
That's right. Yeah, he's late.
I thought you said you took care of Autry. Sharp must have missed.
Bad shot.
On the air. This is Gene Autry offering another broadcast. Let's go.
God, Evan, he's just like us, just skating in right when it's time to do the show.
Right, yeah. I'm Pete. You always got to have a Pete.
Now, when I write my girl a line and want it to get there on time, I call on Pete. I call on Pete. Or if I find by morning mail that by noon I'll be in jail, I call on Oscar.
Huh?
Call on Oscar. Call on
I guess Oscar's got the bail money.
I tell you that these fellows cannot do. If I want the moon or a star or two, I call on Oscar. That's mine. I call on Pete.
So this song's all about calling on your bros when you get into a spot of trouble. Man, Gene Autry was really ahead of the times, wasn't he?
They say that she's not so pretty. She craves marriage, that's a pity. I'll send Pete. Oh, send him. I'll send Oscar. Let him go. She's got $1 million and cost another million. Single, it ain't my fault. Let me go. I'll go, Gene. I'll go myself.
Oh, that's good. That was good. That was funny.
Autry here to hold the ranch guests with his broadcast. The only way we can keep our discoveries to ourselves is to rid this ranch of people. The easiest way to do that is to see that Autry doesn't broadcast again. You mean? Exactly. And then for the rich radium deposits of the underground kingdom of Urania.
Here we go. Robot time.
Yeah.
I just want to see a whole episode of the robots doing mundane things for 20 minutes. That's a good way to kill time. They'll do it later. They will need to kill time in a few chapters. We know it. It's coming. You know how these serials operate.
I want to see one of these robots go shopping for a new hat.
Mm-hmm. Or I'd like to see one robot that decides that he wants a different hat from all the other robots, and then like he gets like made fun of, and then but like it's unique to him, and he realizes
We've got another And the robot's name was Rudolph.
Rudolph, and that's how Gene came up with the song, because Gene was the
Yeah.
one that wrote the song. Or, well, he sang it, the first one. I don't know if he wrote it. But you can thank Gene for Rudolph.
Stand back for the Queen's Guard. The captain of the Queen's Guard.
I love this city, dude. No wonder they credit it as itself, Evan. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of work went into this.
Yes, Your Majesty.
You captured him?
Your Majesty, there were circumstances.
Circumstances? How dare you speak to me of circumstances? You were ordered to take and bind this man. His very existence is a menace to the kingdom of Murania. By all
Gene's
precedent,
a menace.
I should have you put to death.
Yes, Your Majesty.
But not yet.
Yeah, go ahead and kill me.
10 lashes of the scravula
Okay.
from a gentle Argo should teach my captain obedience. Take him away.
Brutal. Time to get the lashes, bud.
Not the scrapula.
Let's take a break right there. So I'm at 10:32. That's a perfect spot to take a little break piece. So that was the exciting first half of Chapter 2 of the Phantom Empire, The Thunder Riders. What do we think so far, Evan?
So what's like really occurring to me is now that we're seeing the city, like I mean, like you just said, I mean, it really is very impressive,
Mhm.
and it's almost funny to me. Like, so this is a Western
Right,
predominantly, I guess.
right,
And the thing about Westerns, like there's so many of them just because they're really easy to make, right? Like
Right.
it's easy to make Westerns out West.
right.
And then we switch, and all of a sudden we have the like it. These scenes feel they're like the opposite. Like they'd be really hard to make.
Oh God, yeah. Like that's what kind of baffles me is how did they we already know we've seen enough serials at this point on the show to know that they don't have a big budget. They're not working with a lot of
Right.
budget when it comes to these
Yeah.
things. So who's making these matte paintings? Who is building these miniature models? Obviously some very skilled people. They're getting the most bang for their buck without a doubt. But I mean, again, this comes from the studio that was they only made serials. Mascot was just a serial studio, which I think they might have been the only one. And it's kind of funny how they didn't really have money to make something this good, but they made it. So and it's early, right? Like we said earlier, this came before Flash Gordon. It came before the Undersea Kingdom.
Yeah, not really that long after Metropolis.
Right, exactly. That's the thing. But so, you know, I said earlier, you know, kind of, and you brought it up, like they're, you know, you didn't expect this to kind of be a watershed for certain things, but it's interesting how this serial really is, because science fiction and film up to this point was really limited. You know, you had obviously some of the early French films, you know, A Trip to the Moon, you know, they did some things that you could call science fiction. You from some of the other countries throughout the years, you had some science fiction type things, but it was really Metropolis that kind of, you know, kind of like set a tone and like, oh, here you can do a story of the future and it'll be interesting, it'll be successful. So you started getting some like science fiction comedies, actually, like in the United States in the early 30s, there were like a couple of sci-fi comedies, but like that's it in terms of sci-fi before tonight's serial. And then tonight's serial came along and happened to just beat out Flash Gordon and beat out Undersea Kingdom, but it really didn't like there were all these, even though science fiction wasn't big in film, it was really big in literature at this time.
Okay.
And that's how you get Flash Gordon, is because Flash Gordon was like it was a comic strip series, I think. And like if you saw the trailer of Flash Gordon, our pre-roll, they showed some of the comic strips in the beginning of that trailer. So you had like science fiction stories in a different medium. But in terms of film, you didn't really have a lot. Metropolis up to this point is kind of the big shining example. I think even the next thing after that, there's a movie called like Things to Come, and that didn't even come out until a year after the serial that we're watching. So this really was, in terms of science fiction, this is an early example, and it's even crazier because it's not just science fiction, it's also westerns, right? Like it's a mashup. So that's what also makes it really odd.
Yeah.
Is they were also coming in on the peak of the western craze, like in the 30s. I mean, western serials had been popular since like the beginning of Hollywood, but and during the mid 30s, I mean, it was at a peak. So I mean, they just were like, all right, well, let's take what we know is tried and true westerns and let's combine it with something that's a little out there. And apparently the writer of the serial came up, I don't know if this is true, but he said that he came up with the idea after he had been like under anesthesia or something. So
really?
Yeah, and I don't know if that's true, but that's he said
he was under, and then but what if there was a city under
the ground? Yeah, so that's obviously how he came up with that. But it's interesting. It the writer, I guess, kind of did have that thought process of like, okay, let me take something I know can be successful, and let me take something that kind of wild, and he inadvertently stumbled into some weird west. I mean, that's really what we have here. So
it's fascinating stuff. This is kind of a cool show so far. Just for, I mean, I want to see more of the city. I want to see more of this robot.
I do. Well, that's the thing, Evan. There's a lot of robots. There's many robots, and it's funny why there are a bunch of robots. I found out an interesting fact about that today, which I'll reveal after the break. So we're gonna get the break, which is a trailer for the second Flash Gordon serial, which was Flash Gordon's Trip to Mars. And we have not seen that. Also not public domain. But again, when we saw Flash Gordon Conquers the Universe, I don't think we ever talked about the fact really. I mean, maybe briefly touched on the fact that it came from a comic strip. But
I guess I really didn't realize that.
Yeah, I mean, and so it's kind of interesting to think that, well, in comic strips and in pulp fiction, I mean, science fiction was obviously very popular, but it took a while for it to catch on in film. And I mean, we talked about last season with television, with Tales of Tomorrow, the way that they culled from all these science fiction stories that had already been written. Obviously, like, people have eaten it up in the literary world, so it was only a matter of time that they made the jump with film. It's only a matter of time that we made the jump. We've been watching so much sci-fi stuff in the past few seasons. It's crazy. And now here we are again, a whole second season of Sci-Fi following another one. So I'm not complaining. It's a lot of fun. So we're going to keep enjoying it. But we're going to get this trailer for Flash Gordon's trip to Mars. And then when we come back, we'll get into the exciting conclusion of Chapter 2 of the Phantom Empire. So stick around. We'll be right back.
They're landing. Happy, you and Dale get back in there out of range. We'll try to hold them off. Hurry before they get through.
The clay in that wall, it seemed to come to life. It turned into a man and then it ran back into the shadows.
Oh, don't be silly. It's one of the death squadron right on our tail.
Man the gun, Flash. I'll try and get him into position for you. You got him, Flash. Direct hit.
But the Clay King has told Flash Gordon the secret of your power.
The secret of my power? He wouldn't dare. Where are you taking me?
To the Clay people. Look, Doc, we're heading straight into the beam.
And we are back. So that was the trailer for Flash Gordon's trip to Mars. And as you can see, I mean, the costumes, there's a whole bunch of, like, I don't want to say precedents, but like all of these science fiction serials, those are the similarities, these elaborate costumes, these elaborate cities. Like there's always kind of some through lines with anything that is kind of dealing with an alien race or kind of just something out of the ordinary. And again, tonight's serial was really the first, the season serial, I should say, was really the first to like do that. It was the first serial to actually like, all right, we're gonna have a city of all these futuristic radium user. Like, I don't, it's just so crazy, like, to think that nobody had really done anything like this before. But it was obviously all right there, so they just grabbed the low-hanging fruit. And Evan, I gotta tell you, there's something weird going on with your camera, like, or it's not your camera.
Teleported back into the frame there.
Yeah, well, it's like off. So like when you're talking, it's just showing you like looking around, being quiet, and then when you're being quiet, it's showing you talking, and so it's just like, what?
Okay.
So and it's on. Sorry, go ahead.
So we're doing a mashup of our own. This is our show, but it's also an old kung fu movie.
Right. And so, but it's the worst dubbing you've ever seen in your life. And, I mean, it's so funny. Like, I guess it's just a video connection. I'm not gonna futz with it,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, we can still hear you loud and clear, and you may be lagging, but we can still see your beautiful face, so we're not gonna worry about it. It's probably my internet, more than likely. Wouldn't be surprising. Anyway, we're about to get into the exciting conclusion of Chapter 2 of the Phantom Empire. And what are we thinking, Evan? So, obviously, the Queen of Morania, she's upset. And so's that sleazy professor. He's also upset. They're all upset that Gene got back to do his radio show in time and that he's not dead. I don't know which one they're more mad about.
He's still alive, that bastard.
Yeah. That's I mean, Gene is, he's a cowboy. Come on. What is he, he's always going to be able to squeak out. Be able to escape danger. I mean, come on. I mean, again, though, we haven't seen Gene do much acting. He's just, he's been doing some riding and some.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Some
singing, which was good. The singing was fun and funny. That song cracked me up. I'm interested to see if they can work another musical number in. We'll see. Something new.
Yeah. Also, a good thing we're on Twitch, because that song would have gotten us kicked off YouTube.
It would have. It definitely would have. See, that's the thing, though. The claim last week was, it was on like the episode. It wasn't even on like the songs. So I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know. Shout Factory is claiming it, which they know they don't own it. What are you gonna do? Anyway, yeah, I mean, Gene, obviously, if you've seen one serial, you kind of know how the formula works. So obviously, Gene's gonna find himself in danger again at the end of the serial.
Yeah.
Gene or some of the kids.
They're gonna run around. He's gonna get in another pickle, and he's gonna find another cliff to fall to hang off.
Which, I mean, yeah, he can hang from a rope, obviously. He had no problem doing that. And
yeah, he's great with some rope.
Right. I mean, we haven't seen him get that lasso going above his head yet, but we're only 2 chapters in. We'll see. I'm sure it'll be coming up. Anything?
Maybe the Queen and these professors would be a little less upset if he just put them on the show.
I think that's what this whole thing is ultimately going to be about, right? Like, they're just jealous that Gene's got
diplomacy.
I mean, he's a big radio star, obviously. I mean, again, let's remember how big radio was back in this time. Radio then was streaming today, like everybody had it. It was in your home. That's where you got your news. That's where you got everything. Like, well, not every. I mean, obviously, you still have the paper.
That's right.
Still have the paper.
We're gonna give you your news.
Yeah, just imagine relying on us for your news. Oof. Yeah, a lot of people relied on Orson Welles for their news, and look what happened. That was a misconception. It wasn't that big of a panic. It was only a mild panic. It wasn't a mass panic. An acute panic.
It was a contained panic.
A contained panic, right? Nothing to be alarmed about. Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll try not to do too much news. Try to keep it light. Anything else before we get into it, Evan?
What do you think that robot's name was?
Steve or Ted or Pete
Roy.
too, Roy. Yeah, Roy. We gotta
Roy
have a
Black.
Roy in here. Which I forgot. I was going to give you a fun fact about the robots. So
Yeah.
they're not original to this cereal. They were not
Okay.
made for this cereal. They were actually a part. They were made for a 1933 film starring Joan Crawford and Fred Astaire, and it was a musical. And this was a musical number that the robots appeared in with the hats on. They had.
Please tell me that one of the robots rolls the hat down its arm.
You better believe him and Fred Astaire do it back to back. But guess what, Evan? We'll
God.
never know because it was deleted from the film and left on the cutting room floor. So those robots, dude, got made originally for nothing to get cut.
That's
How
That is
wild
wild,
is
man.
that? I read that today and I was like,
they're robots.
yeah, and apparently it was Fred Astaire's like first starring role. And now that I've read that it was a Fred Astaire musical, I'm like, okay, well now, yeah, the hats just look like fedoras. They just look like hat, But I'm still gonna say they're
Yeah.
cowboy hats.
Yeah, right, yeah.
That's how they got used in this. They said, well, they look like cowboy hats, so let's throw them in there to our benefit.
That's
so-
incredible, man.
So we'll see. Yeah, wasn't that wild? There are a lot of decent articles about the cereal with a lot of facts, and I'm trying not to give them all at once. Like I wanted to spread them out over the course of the cereal, but I've just read so much good
I mean,
stuff.
that is a fun fact.
That was a fun one, right? Yeah, it's a wild one. So we'll see. I mean, we're in store. We're definitely due for plenty of robot action over the coming weeks. So do not do not fret. We will see plenty. On that note, Evan, if you've got it queued up,
I do.
then we are going to go ahead and get into the exciting conclusion of the Phantom Empire Chapter 2, The Thunder Riders, right now. So I guess she's kind of like a Ming.
Mad world.
She seems like a Ming
If men
type.
should invade Urania, we would probably become like them.
Miss Merciless.
Look at her spying on
Fortunate we are.
us above grounders.
Science, our superior mentality. Radio ranch, that
You need audio with this. Come on.
On with the show, folks.
Oh, they got it.
Yesterday when you tuned out our radio
Oh,
show,
they pick up the Gene
the
Autry show.
Thunder
don't they?
Riders were riding to the rescue. Well,
That's
here's
the
what
chit.
happened
Yeah, they
after
tuned
that.
into that channel.
Cut it out. You're supposed to be taking care of the baby. Oh, I can play and take care of the baby, too.
That was good. That was good.
That's funny.
The stage has been attacked. The
I-
Thunder are getting-
This seems like a lot of work for radio.
The Thunder Riders coming along.
Yeah.
In real radio, somebody's just
Are you
standing
getting
beside
this?
the
Is
mic with a
microphone
cap gun.
picking this up?
Oh,
God.
shit. This is all for the show.
That?
Remember, this is just a gun battle for a radio show. This is not real. Except it
You
is.
gotta pay good money at Tweetsy to see this.
Yeah, seriously.
The Thunder Riders are coming. Jack Dalton must go to the aid of his henchmen.
Oh, okay, yeah, Gene. There you acting. That was Gene acting. Putting on the mustache and doing a voice, and he
You
was
gotta put on
not
that
good.
mustache.
Not good. That the mustache gives him confidence in his acting. He has to wear it.
The Thunder
Oh, they
Riders
got
are
him.
coming. Run for your lives.
The real, like, actual people to be afraid of. Okay.
Gee, you were swell, Daddy. You took it.
Oh, wait, no, it's the kids. Damn it.
Yeah.
Turn over, Daddy. I just abandoned you.
No.
Oh, what?
Somebody shot him.
Oh my god, this is
Oh,
heartbreaking.
jeez.
This
Oh,
dude's
man.
kids. Oh my god. Brutal, dude.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah. I didn't expect him to
Merciless.
punch me in the gut like that.
Yeah.
All right, Gene. Yeah, check their guns.
All blanks. I don't see how any of us could have done it.
Well, we're certainly not canceling the radio show.
Why, I can't understand.
It's all very simple. Your rifle was loaded.
Are you insinuating that I shot my partner?
No, of course not. But you'll have to admit that this is a case for the sheriff.
God, last thing I want is a cowboy in my waiting room, walking a hole into the floor with his boots.
Oh, Gene, we know you didn't kill him, Dad.
Thanks.
But everybody says you did. And the sheriff's coming to take you to town.
That's what worries me. If they lock me up, I'll never be able to discover the real murder.
Oscar's guarding the window.
If they lock me up, I'll never make it back from my rage.
He promised.
I've got to post bail by 2 p.m.
The sheriff.
So the sheriff's the only one who doesn't ride a horse.
Right.
Help! What is it? Gene Austrie attacked me from behind and escaped. There he goes! He's the man who killed Baxter. Get to the horse and take after him. You two are sworn in as special deputies. Get going.
Yep, special
Knows the
deputies.
desert like a book. We have a plane out here a little way. Use it. You can keep track of them until the posse catches up.
Good. I've got tear gas bombs. We'll take them along.
What?
Warmed up sharp.
Right.
What?
How do we put it on
How do you feel about the
Maybe if I
militarization
bust one
of
of
the
these, it won't
police circa
That wouldn't stop
1930s?
Pull out
I
those
mean,
rocks.
hey, they're locked and loaded.
Good luck, Sheriff.
They're getting off airplane, Evan. Come on.
They're taking off.
They're definitely in a plane right now.
Ride, Gene, ride.
Now's our chance to capture Autry.
Why not let the deputies catch him? They'll hang him for murder.
Because he's not guilty, and they'll only let him free to continue his radio broadcast and menace our Uranian civilization. Connect me with the Royal
He's
Guard.
guilty, but they'll let him free to do his broadcast. We can't have that.
The sheriff's a big fan.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Thunder Guard. Autry is on the desert, pursued by a body of servicemen. Bring him to me and see that this time you do not fail.
Yes, Your Majesty. Thunder Guards, alert!
Mm. It's that train again.
Yeah. All right, now nobody reveal the location of our secret city. You also hear the loudest horses in the world.
Hear him coming from miles away. Oh, jeez.
Oh, whoa,
That dude
horse.
recovered nicely.
Yeah.
That horse was like trying to get him off for a second. Oh, shit. Oh!
Who are those horsemen? I don't know. Why, they've got Audrey. Run over and catch up with them. Right.
Oh, shit. No way. Stop it. Stop it, dude.
They're wearing masks. Tear gas bombs won't bother them.
All right. And he's gonna keep throwing them anyway.
The armament room, quick.
That was insane.
Being attacked by a surface man's airship. Dispatch an aerial torpedo at once to guide us to the airship's destruction.
Yes, Your Majesty.
They're gonna torpedo the sheriff.
I mean, somebody's got to stop that guy. He's a menace. He's out here just throwing smoke bombs out of a plane. They're not doing anything. He's the worst sheriff. He's worse than the sheriff from Beast of Yucca Flats. Although this show has seen so many bad sheriffs, we can't even count them on two hands.
You know, that torpedo launching sure did look an awful lot like the one from... I think it was under sea.
It was, I believe.
Okay.
So we got a sky hanger this week. We had a literal
Yeah.
cliffhanger last week. Now, a little. I feel like Flash Gordon. We had so many air explosions, like
We did.
in the ships are flying. Explosion. Tune in next week. So takes me back. That ending really takes me back. But yeah, so interesting episode. What did we think of tonight's episode?
Man, these poor kids. Like, you really can't catch a break.
Nah, their father gets shot by an unknown assailant, and
They
he
almost
tried to.
fall off a cliff, and then their plane almost gets blown up.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's really. I think they were just trying to kill the kids all along. I think the dad just got caught in the crossfire. He was collateral damage.
The easiest way to get this ranch is to just kill these kids.
Well, they're the only ones that are really protecting it. You know, come on. Everybody else is just worried about the radio show. You know, they were the ones who found the Thunder Riders in the first place. You know,
Very
Gene
true.
didn't know about no Thunder Riders. Gene's just over here trying to stage elaborate stagecoach robbery act outs for a microphone. So
They went through all of that trouble, and then did you see the like instruments they had right there by the microphone, like the
No.
like wavy piece of metal?
well, that's what I love. I love how like it's almost like they're lying about like everybody back in those days. I'm sure knows how radio works. Like there's people
Yeah.
with things to make the sound effects. So it's so funny that like they're like, yeah, no, the way Gene does it. They act, and it's like the microphone isn't picking that up. The microphone isn't picking anything up. You're lucky if you can hear Gene sing. We're out on a ranch, out in the open. Like, what kind of mic are we working with here? I don't know. It's strangest outdoor radio stations. I don't know. I just didn't catch on. Outdoor radio production. I don't know. I feel like you'd get a lot of interference and
Yeah, I love the sound of wind.
yeah, God, especially out in the West on a ranch. Could you imagine all the sounds you would hear? The horses and I mean, don't even, like, of course, Blazing Saddles was on TV this past weekend, and I had to watch it. I always get suckered in. Always. And you know, I was watching another show recently that is like a modern kind of Western parody. So it's just I have always been a fan of Westerns and also like Western comedy. So it's just so funny, like you know, like I'm enjoying this a lot. I'm really enjoying this show a lot. And it's easy to have fun with. And give us something that we haven't really gotten. We haven't gotten to enjoy Westerns on this show. So
Yeah.
2 chapters in, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that was chapter 2, and we'll be back at it next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern here on Twitch, just for the minisodes. But of course, we'll be back on YouTube this Friday for our 3rd episode in our Summer of Schlock Returns. And we're getting international. We're gonna be flying over the ocean and settling in Germany, West Germany. Actually, we're getting divided. Germany, but it's a little Schlockster piece entitled Horrors of Spider Island from 1960. And I have not seen this, but it is, I think in a nutshell, there's some models and a guy that get stranded on an island, like shipwrecked or their airplane crashes or something. And there's monsters on the island. Not to give away too much. So should be fun.
The 8-legged variety, perhaps.
Perhaps. I think we'll see at least one pretty absurd 8-legged creature. And also we'll have multiple creatures. That's the cool thing. I mean, again, I haven't seen it, but I've looked at enough doing the research and all that for the movie to know that all right, we've got a couple different things here to enjoy. So should be a lot of fun. So of course, YouTube and Twitch this Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And as always, Evan is going to be bringing us a delicious cocktail to pair with the evening's film in a little segment which this season he's calling
It's Schlocktail Hour.
What are we going to be enjoying this Friday at?
So, speaking of things that come in 8s, did you know that the Long Island iced tea has exactly 8 ingredients?
No.
So what we're going to do this week is this is my spin on the Long Island iced tea, and I'm calling it the Spider Island iced tea.
Ooh.
So if you'd like to make one of these, I hope you have a well-stocked cabinet, because you're going to need
everything.
Vodka, white rum, raspberry liqueur, absinthe, gin, lime juice, some simple syrup, and cherry cola. So we got a full glass this Friday.
Yeah, get your big glasses out. My goodness.
Yeah. I'm usually a Long Island iced tea. That's a pretty it's a surprisingly,
it's a stiff drink.
I should say smooth drink. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
well.
You don't think so? I mean,
I don't know, man. I think I've had some pretty badly made ones. So
okay. Well,
yours are always
boozy.
pretty smooth. Yours are always pretty smooth.
They're always boozy, but
Very.
This one, usually it's like a citrusy kind of sweet and sour kind of thing, but I'm throwing some different flavors at on this variation. So I'm I'm a little curious to see how this is. One of these this season, I'm gonna make a bad one. I'm just gonna keep throwing stuff at the wall until we get a bad one. So we'll see.
Eventually something will stick, but I don't think it's sticking here. I'm really interested in this, but you are definitely throwing some crazy things in here. Throwing some wormwood in here, which is always when did we have absinthe last? Was it the Lugosi drink? Or was it we had absinthe with something and it was good, but it was like
the castle dip.
The castle
That was
dip. That was the one before.
Mint and absinthe. I think that was like a surprisingly good one.
That was good. It was good, but I definitely remember feeling pretty like lit after. Like the absinthe maybe kicked it up a notch. So I'm interested to see how it works this Friday.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to kick this one up 8 notches.
You're definitely doing that. This when I first read this, I was getting in my car and I looked at it and I was just like, oh my fucking God. Like said it out loud, and luckily I was in a place where there were young people around, but luckily I don't think anybody was in my immediate vicinity, so it was okay. But I definitely was like, oh fuck, like this is gonna be intense. And like, oh, I hope nobody heard that. Yeah. So very excited for that. It's gonna be delicious. And like I said, this Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Of course, we'll be live on Saturday with our Saturday Night Shockers. And this Monday we'll have another spine-tingling tale, the part 2 of the Repair of Reputation for Mr. Evan Sink.
That's right.
And had I got mine up Tuesday morning, full disclosure. I uploaded it Monday night, but I was like, it might get more views if I wait to make it public until the morning. It didn't. So always trying to find the strategies. How do you get more views?
You can change that, dear viewer. Go watch the video.
Yes, please go check out all of our spine tingling tales and all of our past episodes. All that's over on our YouTube page at Scream Stream Live. And we've had a lot of people subscribing on we've had more than usual subscribing on Twitch lately, and subscribing to the socials, which we're over on all the socials at Scream Stream Show. And we really appreciate everybody subscribing and trying to get the word out there about our Wednesday and Friday night hangouts and all the other good stuff we have going over here on the channel. But definitely tell your friends, spread the word. We're going to be here, and we really appreciate everybody watching, and you can help us grow and get this community turned into a monster of its own. That's really the goal here. We want to create a monster, so help us make a monster by building the community here at the Scream Stream. That's what this is.
We can all say it's alive together.
Yes, that's the goal. We're not there yet, but we will get there. Yeah, anything else before we you can follow us on the socials. I'm on Twitter at Spakenstein. Evan is on Twitter and Instagram at Caligari Cursed. Anything before we sign off tonight, then?
So next week, do you think we're gonna get any ghosts? When do the fandom come in?
I think it's gonna start very slowly and then like build. Like like
that's the twist. It was a ghost city.
Well,
Ghost
I think
Town, Old West.
I think you just cracked the code. Damn it, Evan! You spoiled the whole show for us. We're gonna have to pick something different. Dang it, Evan. Well, we'll figure it out. Until Friday, sweet screams, everybody.
And to all, a good fright.